see here, please disperse. There's like a chalk outline of a body. Then they got the megaphone. Nothing to see here, please disperse. They got a chalk outline of Dak Prescott talking about nothing to see here, please disperse. I mean,
literally nothing to see
I was born on a day, but not yesterday. Ryan, hold up. The Dallas Cowboys, whether I like it or not, whether we all like it or not, because Ryan, I grew up a Steelers fan before I was a Giants fan, because when I was a kid, the Giants stunk. And that there were two out-of-market teams you could root for, either the Cowboys or the Steelers. Real football fans rooted for the Steelers, and if you didn't have a soul, you rooted for the Cowboys, right? But as a result of that, the Cowboys are the #1 brand in the universe in football. Any level, any place, the Cowboys are the #1 brand, whether we like it or not. And the #1 brand in the universe in football has a franchise quarterback they've been unable to work out a long-term deal with. He didn't sign the one they offered. They haven't got him to a new one. He's coming back, and they don't include the quarterback in the hype video?
Right.
So the PR people come out, they're like, no, there's no story here. What are you, crazy? You crazy media people? You think there's this, if you're going to say that the #1 brand in football, not including their franchise quarterback in their hype video because they don't have him signed and he might not be with us, and Adam Schefter said the over-under on teams with new quarterbacks is 18 this season, and he'll take the over? That there's a better than 50-50 chance that any team is going to have a new quarterback. If you think that's a story, okay, I didn't know that's what you meant by a story. As far as I'm concerned, there's no story here. Get all the way out of here.
Well, here's the thing, though, Max. They know it's a story. That's why you got to release a statement like that. Think about it. If it was a simple 32-second video, if it was just, we're trying to hype the fans up, you don't come out then and say, it was just an oversight, or there's nothing to see here, or we're not worrying about it. Because here's what I do know, Max, that when you have a relationship with somebody, if you care about them, what you do work to do is show them that you care. Right? It's not necessarily that we have to include him, because if we don't include him, or if we exclude him, we now have these stories. No, you want to include him so you know you thought about him. Right? You want to include him so he understands how important he is to the organization. And at the least, you're intentional about knowing he's not in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we all sitting around in the office and I'm about to go out and get some coffee, if I'm ordering some coffee and we're going to work together today, you might not necessarily want coffee. And I ask, hey, Max, hey, Charlie, y'all want some coffee? I'll be like, nah, RC, I'm good. But it's another thing if we all sitting in this room and then I have somebody come in and deliver me a blonde Americano, and y'all like, well, dang, RC ain't even asked me if I want none. See, it's the point that now Dak Prescott has to sit on the outside and say, dang, they didn't even think about me. That this was an oversight, that Troy Aikman is in it, that Emmitt Smith is in it, that these special teams players are in it, but they didn't even think about me here. And I am convinced, because Tad Prescott tweeted something out, right? He tweeted the little emoji with the face like that. I'm convinced that Tad Prescott is Dak Prescott's burner account, like KD actually had a burner account. Tad Prescott says all the things that Dak Prescott cannot. Because you have to know, when Dak Prescott sees that video and he realizes he's not in it, it's just another tick, right? It's just another opportunity that they've overlooked me. It's another opportunity that they've devalued me. It's another opportunity that the Dallas Cowboys have shown me how unimportant I am to them. And that's a real thing.
They didn't overlook him, Ryan, right?
In the age of...
They didn't overlook him. Like your analogy,
we talk about quarterbacks.
You know what I think your analogy, it's more like? You know what I think it's more like? It's more like,
what's up?
If you give your part, you give the person you're married to, or it's Valentine's Day, you get flowers for every single person except the person you're married to. Was that
the most important one?
Or are you sending a message?
Smart.
Which one? It's because you don't think you're going to be married very long. The Cowboys know there's a good chance Dak Prescott's not their quarterback, so they didn't put him in the hype video. And then they, with a straight face, they come out and say there's no story? Come on, man. Like if that really is an oversight, that's the dumbest thing I can think of that you can do. They're not that stupid. That's intentional. They didn't include him because don't include a guy in the hype video coming into a season if they might not be there, right? I mean, what else could it be?
All right, guys, you think about it. We've given out relationship advice in both of our first two topics, so I don't know, but I don't think Dr. Phil has anything on First Take today. Okay, look, since entering the NFL in 2016, Dak Prescott has logged 10 games with at least a 90-point QBR, and that is the most by any starting quarterback in that span. So the Cowboys better be careful, or else, you know what, they might be out of a relationship come this upcoming season. All right, we are going to leave it there because guess what? We have to talk about what's going on.
I'm talking about my cat face. All right, RC, let's get down to business. Everyone knows that the only power rankings in football that really matter are the ones that you do on this show. And so for the first time this offseason, as we look ahead to a Super Bowl that will be played next year, who in your mind are the 5 best teams in the NFL, RC, right now?
You know what? Number 5, we're going to start in Believe land because I believe, listen, LeBron James went back and he brought them a championship. Now maybe Kevin Stefanski and Baker Mayfield can bring a championship to Cleveland. When you watch this team down the stretch, you know what you said? They had an identity. Kevin Stefanski understood what this team was supposed to be. It was supposed to be gritty. It was supposed to be grimy. It was supposed to be like the dog pound that cusses you out and spits at you when you try to warm up. And that's what that team turned into, a physical team with a quarterback that can make plays and a coach that understands them. So Cleveland Browns are my number 5 team. At number 4, I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams. And I cannot wait till they become number 1. And I hope when they become number 1, I am in studio so I can cut the fool like I used to do in 2018. We already knew that AD was the man. AD is the defensive player of the year, even when he ain't the defensive player of the year. And Jalen Ramsey is a guy that's in that conversation too. But wait. There's no more Jared Goff, right? There's no more, we might bench our quarterback for a dude that started in the AAF that's 5'11". They got Matt Stafford now. And so now we're going to see, is it Sean McVay? Sean McVay, can you make a champion? And at number 3, I hear you. At number 3, I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. And now, I thought about putting this team a little higher, and I said to myself, Aaron Rodgers might be able to get them over the hump. But I just watched 2 of the teams play in the Super Bowl, and they know how to get there. And it doesn't seem that the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers do. Do they go out and get another weapon? Does this defense find a physical mentality in the middle? Because I still believe that Aaron Rodgers is mad. I still believe that Aaron Rodgers wants to prove to people that he is not over. And ain't no love in the heart of the city. And the heart of the city is Green Bay, Wisconsin, and it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. At number 2, I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs. And I know what I said. I said I'm never betting against Patrick Mahomes. Well, lies I tell because now I am. You know why? Because I just saw Patrick Mahomes do whatever he could. I saw Patrick Mahomes throw the ball while he was trying to flip. I saw Patrick Mahomes catching the snap in motion because Shaq Barrett, JPP, them boys are some monsters. I also saw Devin White just kill him. So Pat needs some help. I ain't think Pat needed no help, but Pat need help. They need a running game. They need a defense that can stop a nosebleed when Pat ain't killing, so they can't be number 1. And at number 1 is Tom Brady and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Listen, I don't know who the hell is going to be on this team next year. Is it going to be is Shaq Barrett going to be back? Is playoff Lenny going to be back? Is AB going to be back? I don't know. But guess who said he coming back? Number 12, Tom Brady. And as long as they got Tom Brady on one side and Devin White on the other side, I don't know who's going to beat this team. Not when it counts. This team showed us that it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And they finished everything in an emphatic fashion. We all thought Kansas City was going to win. But we was wrong, and it wasn't even close. So I don't care what the odds say. I don't care that we have to try to think in the future. I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking about the past, too. And it seems that Tom Brady ain't ever retiring, so until he does, we might not want to bet against him again.
There are no power rankings that matter except for Ryan Clark's power rankings, but I will just say this as I turn to Dominique for reaction. I believe the expression is RIP your mentions, because I think the hashtag Bills Mafia is going to have a lot to say about not being one of the 5 best teams. Nick, what do you think?
Oh, so I welcome that. I didn't even notice that. So I welcome that because then they can get out of my mentions, get away from me, and go get on RC. But I can't disagree with the rankings. I'm proud of RC because on Monday we talked about how we all were high on Mahomes, so high on Mahomes that we forgot all the things we know to be true about football, that O-line and D-line play matters over everything else. So I'm glad that Ryan is back on the wagon. He got off of that narcotic and he is free of the addiction to Patrick Mahomes. But I got to be honest with you, I'm still chasing that dragon. If this was my power rankings, I'm putting Patrick at number 1. Patrick LaVon Mahomes Jr. Don't you ever forget the LaVon.
Mike Tannenbaum, what do you think? What stood out to you here?
I agree. Buffalo has to be in the top 3. They have the best young quarterback not named Patrick Mahomes. So when you look at their nucleus coming back, I think they're in the top 3.
Deshaun Watson,
and really, Deshaun Watson, we don't know who he's going to be with. So that's why we have to give that a grade of incomplete for now. I love Watson. I just don't know who he's playing for. So I got to go with Buffalo in the top 3. And my concern about Tampa Bay is how many of those guys can they get back? Shaq Barrett, the most notable.
Well, that's why these are the momentary power rankings, because there's a lot of things that yet to happen. If Aaron Rodgers isn't on Green Bay next year, I'm assuming you wouldn't have them at number 3, and maybe